Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. But let's get started. What a day it was in the NFL yesterday. As we watch playoff implications, teams need to get a win, quality wins, and it was just that. Good wins by several teams. But I have to start with the team with the star in the helmet. My question to you guys is simple. Will the Dallas Cowboys lose another game this season? Let's just talk about them for a second. First of all, they have the pressure of being the Dallas Cowboys anyway. It's one of those teams that half the America love, the other half hate. So they deal with that pressure every day. Then they deal with the team that they're facing, the pressure of that. And then they're dealing with the Romo situation as well. And then you have two rookie players in the backfield, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. So you're waiting for one of them or both of them to hit the rookie wall, crash. And it just seems like it's out of reach, man. The Baltimore Ravens is not the Baltimore Ravens of the days of Ray Lewis when he was there, but it's still a quality team. In fact, they were in first place in their division before heading into Dallas. But Dallas comes away with the win, 27-17. Dak Prescott again, 3 touchdowns thrown, threw for 300 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, he ran for 97 yards. He had a lot of carries, 25 carries. But you know what? If you're doing what you're supposed to do with the ball as a running back, whether you're piling up a lot of yards or you just extending the game for your team, that's all you ask for. Sure, you would like to see a guy somewhere around 4.5 yards per carry. He was just under that. He was under 4 with about 3.8 per carry. But if you're extending the game for your team, that's all that matters as they continue to dominate ball control. I don't know what to say about this team now, man. Other than, now the question is, will they lose again? It just seems like challenges after challenges after challenges, and we're sitting here waiting for maybe a possible a rookie collapse, a rookie crash, whatever, or run into a rookie wall, whatever you may want to come up with, whatever term. But it's not happening. The Dallas Cowboys continue to roll on. All right, they play on a short week this Thursday, their traditional Thanksgiving day. This time their opponent will be Washington, who came off a nice win last night in the nation's capital against Green Bay, a team that we talked about a couple once before last week. What has happened with them? This is a team that's on a decline, and Mike McCarthy is probably going to finish out the year, but I don't see him returning next year. But this is clearly a team on a decline. But good game for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins as they pack up on a short week, head out to Dallas and get ready for a Thanksgiving game. And I'm going to tell you something, that should be a good game. Anytime you have a in-division game is always a quality game. So I look for Washington. And I'll tell you what, Washington needs to win more than Dallas needs to win. But Dak needs to win. I don't care what Jerry Jones said last week or what Romo came out and said. I believe Dak is on week to week. And as long as he feels that way, it might propel him to continue to give his best effort. Yesterday, he had a passer rating of 127. You just can't ask for anything more than that. All right? Moving along, as I mentioned, Washington with a quality win, but also staying in that division. The Giants with a quality win. They came from behind to beat Chicago at home. So those two teams, Washington and the Giants, keep pace for their wild card hopefuls. Can't say that about the Eagles, my team. They went up to Seattle. We all know that's a tough place to win at. If you think going to the Eagles is a tough place to win on the road, Seattle could be just as tough. That 12th man up there is for real. It really is. That's just a place that, and here's the thing, you travel a long way too. But that's a tough place to win at. Eagles come up short. Uh, they got some homework to do, really. With the loss, not only did it cause them to fall behind the Giants, the Redskins, but more importantly, with the win from Minnesota, who needed it in the worst way, has allowed Minnesota to leap them in the wild card hopeful, as Minnesota is now tied with Detroit at the top of the division. But I think Detroit, because they beat them, is ahead of them right now. But however, Minnesota, they got back into their winning ways. So that loss by the Eagles was really kind of costly. So let's just, going forward, let's see, with 6 games left, maybe the Eagles can pull out 5-1 to get back into the graces. Remember, they got 3 home games. 3 home games, I believe it is. Well, I know they got to play Dallas at home, and they got to play Washington at home, and also the Giants. Also the Giants. So there's 3 home games there. Maybe some home cooking can help propel them back into the races. But also they're probably gonna need to win out or minimum 5-1. But they're capable of doing that. But we'll see. You got to suit up. You got to play the games. Not making no prediction, but I'm not giving up on the Eagles yet. The Jets didn't lose this week. They had a bye. But again, Minnesota, they had a win, a quality win, trying to get back into the races. They beat, in my estimation, perhaps maybe the 3rd most disappointing team in the NFL this season, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. Many people thought the Arizona Cardinals would leap Seattle this year and maybe take a chance and march towards the playoffs and be a Super Bowl contender. Between the Bengals, who lost again to Buffalo, the Bengals, Arizona, and the Jets, I cannot think of 3 more disappointing teams in the NFL. Possibly you can throw Carolina into that mix coming off a Super Bowl trip, and they probably don't get to the playoffs. But yeah, those are probably the 4 most disappointing teams. Although Carolina would have win on Thursday night, 4-6, I tell you, if there's a team that can get back into the good graces, and the races, I wouldn't count the Panthers out. This is a team that was 15-1, been there, knows how to win. Still have one of the more talented quarterbacks in the game in Cam Newton that can make things happen. I wouldn't necessarily count them out, but I'll say that their hopes is nearly is thin. It's on thin ice. Let's put it that way. Miami with a big win, and this is a team we haven't talked about. I believe they've won now 3 in a row, possibly 4 in a row. They're in the thick of things over there as a playoff hopeful in the playoff races, whether they're 2 games behind New England for the division or they're just a game behind Denver and Kansas City. And keep in mind, Kansas City lost to Tampa Bay yesterday on the road. So they're right there. I mean, they could, if they continue their winning ways, Miami might make this playoff race interesting going down the stretch. Again, they trail Denver and Kansas City by a game right now. So they're 6-4. That's one to keep an eye on, Miami. I didn't see it coming in the beginning of the season. I'm not a believer of Tannehill, but they've been led mostly by the running back, Ajayi. He had a relatively quiet game yesterday with only 77 yards, but nevertheless, they're in the thick of things. So that's a team to keep an eye on. Good game on tonight, guys. You got Oakland and Houston tonight. The game's going to be played in Mexico City, so although it's a home game for the Raiders, it's on a neutral field. It should be interesting, should be good, should be fun. Oakland right now is ahead of their division. They have an opportunity to pull ahead a game in front of Denver as well as Kansas City if they can pull out a victory. And Houston, if they win, they can extend their lead in their division. So, look, a lot on the line tonight, so look for that to be a good game. I think Oakland pulls it out at the end, but you still got to suit up and play the game. So it was a good weekend for the NFL. Moving along to the association, the NBA that is. Wow, what a great performance. What a good performance by the Knicks. yesterday afternoon, midday at the Garden, as the Atlanta Hawks, one of the top three teams in the East, come into the Garden at a 12 o'clock matinee, boasting a 9-3 record, and New York handles their business without Noah. Noah, he couldn't make the game. Matter of fact, he was sent home. He was very ill, so he didn't play. But what a performance that the Knicks had. From what I understand and read, the Knicks had a meeting, an emergency meeting, like 2 hours before the game, a couple hours before the game, and from what I understand, sources says that they aired out a lot of grievance. Phil Jackson was in attendance. He didn't say anything, which was unusual, but sources says that it was a good thing that he didn't speak. So it sounds like the players took control of the meeting, and maybe they aired some grievances out. Maybe in the days to come we'll find out what all was said. But nevertheless, whatever was said in that meeting, it seems like it sparked the team, because the team came out very good from the start. This was a game pretty much they had control of, whether it was a double-digit lead or it went down to 6 points. For the most part, New York had control of this game from the very beginning, somewhere through midway first quarter. Anthony led the team with 31 points. Porzingis, he continues his improvement on the league. But something I want you guys to pay attention to with Porzingis, it was 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. He had 17 points. 17 points. And he picked up his fourth foul. He had to come out the game. He finished the game with 19 points. So, again, the growth of Porzingis, yes, I'm a firm believer your big man is only as good as your point guards are, because they need to be set up. You really don't want your big man bringing it up, setting himself up, and going to the basket. But the other part of it is that because I think between the tandem of Derrick Rose and Brandon Jennings, he's going to get better opportunities, better looks. They're going to look for him. They're going to put him in a position where he can be successful. But the other thing is he's got to do it for himself. And anybody who played the game like myself, you don't play defense with your hands. You play defense with your feet. And he's got to play defense with his feet and not pick up these silly fouls. Because with 7 minutes in the game and he's got 17 points, him and Carmelo was rolling. They was rocking and rolling. But then he picks up his fourth foul. We're already short Noah. And now he's got to go to the bench. He finishes with 19 points because he put himself in a position where he couldn't play. And with Noah not there, you know he was going to be in a position to pick up some extra time. So he's got to be smart. And he's got to play defense with his feet and not with his hands. I mean, even the point guards, the guards in the league, play defense with their feet. It's about sliding over and getting in front of your guy, getting in front of the passing lane. You know, you don't steal the ball necessarily with your hands. You steal the ball by getting yourself in a position where now you can reach for the ball or maybe intercept the ball. So again, even though maybe your hands is picking off the ball, but it's your feet that push you in the position to do so. So you have to play defense with your feet, Porzingis. But nevertheless, still a good game. And I'll tell you, man, who set the tone early and may not get enough credit is Kyle O'Quinn. He came out there undersized against Dwight Howard, and he gave it to him early on, man. I mean, Dwight finished with 18 and 18. Don't get me wrong. Dwight is Dwight. But he went out there and he made it difficult for him, man. In that first quarter, he did pick up 3 fouls early in the first 16 minutes of the game. But he made it tough for Dwight Howard. And I got to be impressed by that, man. He made it tough for him. And he had a nice little quality game. Again, he picked up foul trouble. But he had, I believe, 8 and 8 and like maybe 14 minutes or 15 minutes of action. So, I mean, very, very good minutes there. And then the rookie out of Spain, former teammate of Porzingis, Herger Gomez. This is a guy that, quite frankly, when he stepped on the court, he looked scared to me early on. but he's beginning to find a comfort zone. He's beginning to get adjusted to the life of the NBA. And I think this guy could be a keeper going forward. But he came on and did not show any signs of being intimidated by one of the better big men in the game, in Dwight Howard. And believe it or not, he got under the skin a little bit of Dwight Howard, forced him to put up some bad shots, caused Dwight Howard to give some fouls on him. Very good minutes from this guy coming off the bench. I think he had 8 points as well as 7 rebounds. And it was just a pest to Dwight Howard for whatever reason. He went in there and felt like I had nothing to lose, man, and gave some quality minutes. You like to see that. Looks like the combination of Derrick Rose and Brandon Jennings is improving before our eyes. Courtney Lee is getting more comfortable as he continues to score double digits. So I might have to give the Knicks time to gel, but I like what I saw yesterday. So they play tomorrow night at the Garden against Portland. Let's see what they do, because those penetrating guards like the Damian Lillards of the world, they seem to give the Knicks trouble. But the Knicks have been good all year at home. So let's see what happens tomorrow night at the Garden. Looking around the association, the game that I was keeping an eye on was the Chicago and Laker game. Didn't realize that D-Wade wasn't going to play last night, but nevertheless, still was a quality game. It took all and every 40 points that Jimmy Butler had to put up last night. He goes for 40 against the Lakers to propel him to like an 8-point win. Pretty good game. Again, these little Lakers, if this is a game last year, they fold, crumble, but they're hanging in there, man. I like what I'm seeing. Again, as I always said, Luke has them well coached and well prepared. So, but a good game. They came up on the short end, but I mean, they can take a little something from this game is that they competed. And that's all you can ask for from a coaching staff and from a management brass is that, front office is that you got 12 to 15 guys that's going to suit up every night and they're going to compete. So unfortunately you can't win them all, but they will compete. So Indiana shorthanded beats OKC in overtime. I don't know about OKC right now. Rumors and whispers have it that they inquired about Rudy Gay. They may be interested in trading for Rudy Gay. I think Rudy Gay would be an excellent acquisition there. They need that wing player there that they can rely on. I don't know if Oladipo and Robertson is enough to kind of replace Kevin Durant. I think Rudy Gay would be an excellent choice there. He can also stretch to a stretch 4. So look for something to be done over there, because it just can't be Westbrook every night. It cannot be. I mean, I'm a Westbrook fan, but he's going to need a little bit more help. He's going to need some help over there. So that's going to do it for the show. I still questioning those decisions on Saturday night. I learned something about Saturday night's boxing that kind of got me saying, the fight before the main event, Perez and Hooker. I don't know if you guys out there seen it, but Perez dominated that fight from start to finish. I can't think of one round that Hooker won. Not one. He dominated the fight from start to finish, and that was a draw. And then I learned later that Hooker is represented by Rock Nation, along with Andre Ward. So as it was a bad night for the judges, it's a coincidence that the boxers that was favored from the judges' decision were both Rock Nation. That's something to think about. So as we close, as I always do, look forward to seeing you guys in 24. And have a great day. Peace and blessings. Thanks for tuning in. Just chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.